over the years, the network has progressed from 2G to 3G to 4G and 5G, and then now we're talking about 6G.
Singapore is a great example of this evolution, and it has been a front runner on cloud-native networks and was the first operator globally to launch differentiated connectivity to a complete customer base.
Just the first half of 2025, Singapore saw scams, frauds and all amounting to over 450 million.
AI takes the protection to the next level. With AI, you can analyze huge amount of data and then in real time, detecting unusual patterns.
And for Singtel, we have recently embarked on an AI transformation. We call it AI 28, where our vision is for the network not just to learn, but be able to self-configure, self-optimize, and then self-heal.
So basically, Singtel and Singapore are showing the world what the networks, the 5G networks and the future 6G can do.
Hi everyone, and welcome to the very first episode of TChats. This is a podcast about building the future. I'm Tian, Chong, CEO of Singtel Singapore, and with me today is Adriana Garrido. She's the Vice President and Head of Cloud Software and Services for a very exciting region, Southeast Asia, Oceania and India at Ericsson. Welcome, Adriana.
Hi, Tian Chong, and hi, everyone. I'm super excited to be here, kicking off this series that you're launching in Singtel. And I think today we're going to talk about a topic that we're both companies very passionate about, and is the role of the networks in the future and the role of AI in it.
Indeed. And today marks the first of our three-part series on the topic of AI. And it is very fitting for me to have you here because Ericsson is a long-standing partner of Singtel. And in fact, together with Ericsson, we've been pushing the boundaries of our network and done many incredible things. So therefore, we have lots of big thoughts and questions to jump into. Well, let's begin. The first topic or first question at hand is really about the modern networks and what modern networks can really do for us today. And if I think back, generally speaking, over the years, the network has progressed from 2G to 3G to 4G and 5G, and then now we're talking about 6G, right? And I remember as I grew up, became a student, started working, how as it evolved from 3G to 4G, we begin to see the early phones that Ericsson produced. It unlocked the freedom to connect very simple things to, over time, 3G to 4G, when it unlocked the internet and we could access and it unleashed the growth of iPhones and what people could do with it. And of course, with 5G now, fast forward, right? It's about how with the uplink and downlink capability, it unlocks possibilities, right? And of course, today we have, for example, autonomous vehicles moving around, right? And a lot of them are over-the-air updates, industrial machinery, all of that. And I think I can relate to the fact that now with 5G, we're able to do many things in our lives now, using the 5G network, right? Because of the bandwidth, the latency, we're able to actually do edge computing and then get workloads back to the cloud back. It's quite seamless now. And with AI coming up, I can imagine, right, how 5G or 5G plus, as we say, 5G and a half now to 6G, we're enabling the possibility of AI showing up now, applications and all that. So this topic about modern networks is how people traditionally associate networks with traditional connectivity, but really with the progression of the Gs is about progressing to a modern network, right? If I can say it that way. And for Singtel, we're really proud because, together with Ericsson, our network has been powering Singapore's digital economy in a big way. And we're actually helping Singaporeans live, work, and play. But before that, the idea is beyond coverage, how the modern network today is powering AI and empowering mission-critical applications and helping our many big customers transform in very key sectors like healthcare, the airport, the port, manufacturing, and all that. So with that being said, how do you see the modern network and what can they really do today?
So you're completely right. Maybe people still think of networks in the old way. today's network evolved into software-first programmable platforms that combine connectivity, compute, intelligence, and security, right? And this brings with a big shift that we have made from 3G to 4G, now to 5G, and hopefully in the future to 6G, right? The networks are cloud native. And that brings certain capabilities that only in the cloud native environment you can make. The second, 5G has introduced much higher performance and ability to tailor connectivity. And the third, networks now expose capability through secure APIs that will allow developers and businesses to create their own applications using the network capabilities, right? But also this means much more complexity. So which is where AI is really essential, right? The foundations for autonomous networks and eventually 6G is the whole complexity needs to be simplified in order for us to provide those platforms that you mentioned for enterprises and so on, right? Singapore is a great example of this evolution, and it has been a front runner on cloud-native networks and was the first operator globally to launch differentiated connectivity to a complete customer base. So basically, Singtel and Singapore are showing the world what the actual networks, the 5G networks and the future 6G can do. So for viewers, what does it mean is, for consumers, it means that they can do streaming, they can do gaming, better AI and VR. I think for younger generations, this is super attractive. For a smaller business, can digitize more easily, secure and simple connectivity, and also use IoT. Then you have the large enterprises that gain automation with the smart logistics that you mentioned, and also the large-scale IoT for smart cities. That is fundamental also for public safety. And then for CFPs, the network becomes a digital platform for innovation, new service, and new monetization models, right?
Yeah.
So modern networks are there to deliver better performance and unlock opportunities for everyone that we didn't have in the previous years.
Yeah. In fact, for our viewers, like you said, maybe to bring it to life, on the current 5G network, the modern 5G network, the standalone network that we have, what we're doing is essentially using the highway analogy, where, you know, if you have a congestion in the highway, we're able to open a special lane in the highway, right? So that our customers, enterprise customers and consumers, they can get into the priority lane and travel congestion-free. That's what we're able to unlock with a modern network. They're never caught in a traffic jam, never caught in a congestion, because we have this special lane.
And it's also provide, to your point, is that lane will be important for certain users and not important for others. So you provide the flexibility that they can choose what model fits their needs.
Exactly
that's
right.
the differentiated connectivity.
Exactly right. So let's maybe move on to a second topic, building on where we spoke about the modern network. It's about a high-performance network and how AI or artificial intelligence is helping that. So from my perspective today, a differentiated network, a performing network is not just about raw speed. It's also about how a network must be smart, it must be responsive, and more importantly, reliable. And so ability for the network to have smartness to sense so that they can adapt and then they could balance workloads are really important, right? On a network perspective. And for Singtel, we have recently embarked on an AI transformation. We call it AI 28. And our vision is to, among other things in the AI 28, is to work on the autonomous network, where our vision is for the network not just to learn, but be able to self-configure, self-optimize, and then self-heal. You know, that is the vision that we have, to use AI to bring this modern network to become a smart network. And so with autonomous network, the idea is then we can predict faults proactively, we can balance the workload, and more importantly, resolve issues before customers complain. So that's our idea behind it, and that's what we want to do. So I want to hear your view as well, Adriana, on this whole thing about AI and then helping with the high-performance modern network.
No, I think AI, what you mentioned, what is important is that we build AI from start. So it's part of the networks of today. It's like designing a small city that when we have road signals and routes that can adapt all the time.
Right.
To build that network truly AI, you need to have cloud-native foundations. That will be one piece. It should be programmable. It should be having the possibility to actually dynamically move workloads in order to be able to adapt. And it should have orchestration as well. And then when it comes to the test is what the customers at the end and the users feel. And it comes with low latency and stable latency, high throughput, and even at peak times, and a strong reliability with fast recovery, right? So AI, what brings the foundations of the customer experience, it actually enables the network to actually predict and prevent faults, balance traffic, optimizing routing, and detecting anomalies and taking autonomous actions with agentic AI. And this is what is bringing us closer to autonomous networks and is laying the foundation as well for 6G.
Yes, indeed. It's certainly a journey to unlock all of those capabilities. So Adriana, and I want to talk about 5G network and how the network keeps our customers safe. You know, the fact of the matter is in Singapore, just the first half of 2025, Singapore saw almost scams, frauds and all amounting to over 450 million just for 6 months, you know, in the first half of 25. It is a massive problem that every country, including Singapore, is facing. And to this extent, Singtel treats security as top priority, for us. Now, what we've done is on our 5G network, we've actually partnered with Palo Alto Network to develop a product for our mobile customers called Mobile Protect. Essentially, we have innovated with Palo Alto Network to create a deep packet inspection at the network so that our 5G customers can essentially get the security at the slice. So we do the sieving out of all the malicious sites and URLs and all that. And then the idea is to provide customers a clean pipe via the slice that we spoke about. And actually, even over and above that, for all our Singtel subscribers, right, even without the Mobile Protect, we are actually already working with machine learning and AI. And every month, we're already screening out and blocking over 10 million scams call and scam SMSs every month, 10 million. And we also block access to about 1 billion malicious URLs or websites as well. So there's a staggering number. But we've been using these technologies, right? AI, machine learning, to block all this out for Singtel customers. And then over and above that, we partner with Palo Alto Network to create that security in a slice. So this stuff that we're doing because of the gravity of the situation. So I'd like to hear your views on this as well, especially what 5G network can do for protection.
So in Ericsson, we are investing a lot on security. It's not only on security features, but also how do we make the whole 5G network secure. And for me, security is built from a start, right? So when you build this from a start, you get a stronger authentication and encryption. You have a slice-based isolation, so traffic stays separate and protected. That's very important. It's important for the customers. Zero trust checks for every device and workload. And also secure edge computing that keeps sensitive data locally. So AI then takes the protection to the next level. With AI, you can actually analyze huge amount of data and then in real time, detecting unusual patterns and then blocking the threats early. I think that's what's important. And then we need to isolate the suspicious traffic automatically. We cannot have a manual intervention on how the new systems are provided, and also taking mitigation and actions within milliseconds. So the target here is to detect and avert the threat. And that's what Singtel is doing and what Ericsson is supporting with their system, right? So a simple example that what we can see in the network, and we have seen some threats globally, if you see a sudden spike on signaling, that's already a suspicious point. And AI can immediately rate the limit of suspicious sources and activate the mitigation at the edge. So you avoid that it comes into the network, right? For enterprises, a private 5G slice with a strict access control and local breakout keeps the industrial and medical traffic completely isolated from the public internet. So security has a multi-angle, is within the networks, surrounding networks, and then using AI as the vehicle to detect and avoid the threats. That's how we are working also together with Singtel and global operators.
Now, moving towards the close for this podcast, I want to talk a little bit about wrapping it with AI and all the advancements that are coming. For us at Singtel, the North Star is really about pursuing it to become the vision of becoming an AI-first telco of the future. We have embarked on one of the most ambitious AI transformation, I dare say, in the global telco industry. And we have called it AI 28. And essentially, our goal is how we are going to use AI to redesign how we acquire, how we serve, how we retain customers, how we run our networks, how we empower employees, as well as how we drive enterprise growth. And among other things in there, today we've been talking a lot about the network portion, which is one of our big central effort within the AI 28 project that we're working on. And for me, I see autonomous network as a vision of self-configuring, self-optimization, and then self-healing, that whole combination. And it really allows us to progress dramatically if we're able to achieve like a level 4 autonomy, in the autonomous network. That's what we're working towards. So maybe to hear your thoughts as well, these next things that you see coming up as advancements of all this topic.
So the networks of the future and the way we're working with Singtel, where we're looking is more reliable, better performance, more efficient use of resources, and also differentiated services that you actually have launched in your base, and also a more dynamic way to serving subscribers according to their needs. So this is kind of the adaptability, right? Looking ahead, there are 3 things that we need to work that are key. The first is AI native intent-driven automation, where networks can actually predict fault, steer traffic, and optimize end-user experience. Also, agentic AI that you mentioned before will allow the network to even take more autonomous actions based on conditions and intent. And the third one is applications will be able to request the exact performance they need through secure APIs, and the network that fulfill the intent on its own. So it becomes fully autonomous, right? The second part will be secure cloud-native convergence. So OpenCNF and Kubernetes-based networks with advanced license and zero trust controls will make the whole system more secure, efficient, and easier to scale, and with tighter integration across the public cloud and enterprise IT. And then the third one is a distributed cloud model. A network can deliver ultra-low latency and keep sensitive data where it belongs. So it creates in a whole a secure line for them. So what it means is simply reliable performance every day. And also for businesses, it means stronger security, more automation, and predictable digital services that they can actually depend on.
Well, that's excellent, Adriana. I think you basically have laid out the roadmap for how we can work together to progress to our vision of autonomous network and a modern advanced network as well. So thank you, Adriana. And this brings us to a close of the very first episode of TChats. And once again, I want to thank Adriana for joining me in this podcast and for sharing your very thoughtful insights. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Tian Chong, and congratulations on the series and good luck on the next episodes.
Thank you. For our viewers, stay tuned for our next episode, where we will continue our Building the Future series and dive deeper into AI.